We were doubling in size every year for about 3 to 4 years in a row, which was great. But me having kind of more of a sales and marketing background and more of like an entrepreneurial vision for building the company, I wasn't so concerned about building the infrastructure underneath, like systems and processes. We're pretty lacking at one point, and when it was 2023, we kind of hit like a tipping point where things went pretty south for a while, and it cost us a ton of money. We lost a ton of clients. We lost a ton of employees and partners. And, I don't need to get into all the sticky details, but it was a very expensive, pricey, costly example. And it was a lesson that I had to learn. And as a company, it's made us better. We've made a lot of changes since then. And we've actually made major changes to our business model where prior to all this happening, we were really more of a volume play. We were looking at the number of clients, the number of tax returns that we could do, the number of employees, and not really focusing on high value, high margin work at the end of the day, where after this happened, it's caused us to really get focused on tax planning, which is the services I was describing to you previously there, where, at this point we have systems upon processes of how everything works, from like onboarding a new client to billing, to follow up, to renewals, you name it. We have a system for it. And it's at a point where we work with a fraction of the clients that we used to, which is less work, quote unquote. Not really, but it's way less clients for way more revenue and way more profit, which in my opinion is how you build a successful business, which is one that you want to go to every day, not showing up.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Investor Fuel podcast. I'm your podcast, Leo, and today I'm joined by someone that I've been looking forward to chatting with, Jake Alexander, who's been making serious moves in the real estate industry. Jake, I'm glad to have you here, man.
Yeah, thank you, Leo. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Hey, that's excellent. I think our listeners are really going to take something away from you and how you're approaching your business. If our listeners, they want to learn something from you, from your business, what should you tell them?
I would tell them that proper planning is essential. We're in the accounting and tax industry, and there's nothing like being proactive and working ahead of time. I will tell you from experience, it's a lot better than letting those things go to the wayside and then trying to get caught up for multiple years. So being proactive, working ahead, that's the way that you really save money in our business.
That's actually cool. So, and just to make our listeners a little bit more familiar with your world, with what you do, can you give us a short version on what's your main focus these days?
Yeah, we specialize in tax planning for business owners and mainly real estate professionals.
All right, cool. And in what markets are you operating in right now?
All across the U.S. Our company, we're based out of Tampa, Florida, but our company runs virtual. We have clients all across the country.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
Love it. Love it. Jake, something that actually caught my attention about the way you've been able to help your clients, when it comes about tax. Can you tell us a little bit more and be more specific on how do you keep helping them in the way that you do?
Yeah, absolutely. Our A plus level of our service is what we call tax plan plus implementation. And so a little bit about the way that process works is we dive in. We get copies of your past 2 years tax returns. We have a lengthy conversation to understand as much as possible. And then we also have a questionnaire that we have our clients fill out. And so from all that information, we put together an actual plan. And this is your tax plan. It's an actual document that we create and present to you. The document is very thorough. It's usually between like 12 and 20 pages. And typically there's between like a half a dozen and a dozen tax strategies on there that you're currently not using. And what the plan does is it describes in detail what these strategies are, how to implement them. And then if you do, it actually ties a number amount of tax savings to those tax strategies as well. And so we design that plan, we deliver it to our clients, and then we offer a series of up to 4 follow-up meetings prior to the end of the calendar year to, I would never say hold their hand, but basically hold their hand and walk them through how to actually implement all those strategies so they can maximize their tax savings. That's the A plus version of how we work with our clients.
Hey, actually, that's not easy, especially, these days and in Florida. I'm pretty sure that you have a bunch of clients, that they do their taxes late or sometimes they don't even know how to do them. I was one of them.
Yep. Around this time of year is extension season. So we do have a separate department, which is our tax preparation department, where their main responsibility is compiling timely and compliant tax returns for clients, which is totally fine. We have clients who do extensions every year. That's not what we recommend, though. If you want to proactively save money on taxes, the way you do that is from getting ahead of the bus and working in the current year before the end of the year. That's what we recommend, definitely.
All right. That's cool, man. Jake, I have actually one question that I wanted to bring up. And you know that these days, all of these companies, they're offering AI automation into their services, right? Are you a person that is actually looking to implement that in your company, or are you implementing it as we speak right now?
Absolutely. When I say we, everybody in our company uses AI on a daily basis. In my opinion, it's amazing of what it can do for research purposes and, taking what used to be 2 to 3 hours of internet research for us and condensing it into like 10 or 15 minutes. So we're absolutely embracing it and using it on a regular basis. I think with any new technology, there's the good, the bad, and the ugly. So if you are a client and you're doing your own tax research with AI, I would say that's great, but you definitely want to have that stuff verified through a professional and make sure you're working with somebody who can guide you in the right direction. So absolutely, we're embracing it and using it, and the opportunity in our industry, I think, is massive because it's amazing because it frees us up a little bit more to be that trusted advisor with our clients and to actually have conversations with them and give them strategies as opposed to spending countless hours reconciling a balance sheet or, finishing those final little tedious things on a tax return. So absolutely, we're big fans of AI and we use it on a daily basis.
All right, all right. Jake, and can you tell me a little bit about what's been the key to keep your business, your tax business, running smoothly?
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency, it's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
The key to running smoothly is to keep on fighting through the good times, through the bad times, through the hard times. business is, it's crazy, and there's always going to be things that come at you that are unexpected. And it's really to face each one of those challenges as a new opportunity to earn new clients, find new referral partners, and find new opportunities. So I think it's really embracing the challenges because, there's times when you own a business where it feels like they're never ending or they're endless. I've gotten to a point where I embrace that stuff, and every new challenge is really just a new opportunity. So that would be my biggest message there.
All right. Yeah, I totally agree with you, Matt. I totally agree with you. All right. Now, every operator that I know has a moment when things got real. All right. Maybe a deal that went sideways, maybe some bad taxing or returning taxing, anything that went sideways or a time that you had to pivot fast. Do you mind sharing one of those moments?
Absolutely. I've got one that definitely comes to mind. This is back in 2022, without giving you the huge long backstory, but when I started this business in 2016, and we grew really fast, getting new clients and finding new areas of revenue and that sort of stuff was never really a challenge for us. And so we were at a point where we were doubling in size every year for about 3 to 4 years in a row, which was great. But me having kind of more of a sales and marketing background and more of like an entrepreneurial vision for building the company, I wasn't so concerned about building the infrastructure underneath, like systems and processes. We're pretty lacking at one point. And when it was 2023, we kind of hit like a tipping point where things went pretty south for a while, and it cost us a ton of money. We lost a ton of clients. We lost a ton of employees and partners. And, I don't need to get into all the sticky details, but it was a very expensive, pricey, costly example. And it was a lesson that I had to learn. And as a company, it's made us better. We've made a lot of changes since then. And we've actually made major changes to our business model where prior to all this happening, we were really more of a volume play. We were looking at the number of clients, the number of tax returns that we could do, the number of employees, and not really focusing on high value, high margin work at the end of the day, where after this happened, it's caused us to really get focused on tax planning, which is the services I was describing to you previously there, where, at this point we have systems upon processes of how everything works, from like onboarding a new client to billing, to follow-up, to renewals, you name it. We have a system for it. And it's at a point where we work with a fraction of the clients that we used to, which is less work, quote unquote. Not really, but it's way less clients for way more revenue and way more profit, which in my opinion is how you build a successful business, which is one that you want to go to every day, not showing up, putting out fires, having all these crazy things happen all the time too. So that's the in a nutshell version of that story there.
All right. Hey, man, I'm very happy, that you shared that with us, because not many people like to talk about those kind of things, But actually, for me, that's what separates the folks who just dabble from the ones who stay in the game long term. All right. So let me ask you this, okay? What are you most focused on solving or scaling next? What's the next real goal for you?
The next real goal for us is to grow and scale our tax planning services. That's where it's the highest revenue, highest profit service that we offer, but it's also the highest problem solving, most needed service to our clients. So it's where we really get to know our clients on a deeper basis, and we can offer that proactive relationship to them, which is what all clients are looking for, right? The majority of the clients that we sign up for that service, they thank us. They say, I've been looking for this. Like, I've been expecting my CPA to.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
Do this kind of stuff with me for years, but they just don't. In reality, it's because they weren't offering that level of service, but it's really to grow and scale that as much as we can, because we love doing it. We're really good at it. we get really great feedback from the clients that we offer it to as well. And so, when I think back to 10 years ago of when I started the business, I thought 2 to 3 years into it, I'd be retired on a beach somewhere, relaxing, having the whole thing kind of run itself. In reality, it doesn't work like that. So if I got to show up at the office every day and I got to work with clients, that's the stuff I like doing. I'm really good at it and I'm really passionate about it. And so we want to do as much of that as possible with as many great people as possible.
Hey, that's cool. That's cool, man. And by the way, don't give up on that dream. All right. You can still
Maybe
make
one
it.
day, right?
Exactly, exactly. All right. Look, the next move that you want to make in your business, can either compound things or create chaos depending on how you play it. All right. Now, I know a lot of people are listening are either earlier on their journey or looking to level up. All right. So I think they will benefit from hearing this. All right. When it comes about building up relationships like the way you do and growing up your network, what's the biggest difference for you?
With relationships, I mean, relationships are key to making everything work, from the
Mhm.
relationship you have with your spouse to business partners to clients. I mean, to everything. If I can, not to go back because I don't want to live in that whole 22, 23 chaos period that I was telling you about. But when I was going through that stuff, I had to have good relationships with friends who are entrepreneurs, with other business owners who had been through crazy stuff to just like talk me off the ledge and tell me, none of them told me it was good. Like none of them said great job for doing that, but a lot of them told me like, man, I've been through stuff like this too. You're gonna be okay. Like what you should focus on is XYZ, and people that are there to kind of talk you off the ledge and talk you through things. I mean, having solid relationships is what everything's really about. And then having a solid relationship with your spouse is absolutely paramount too, because owning a business is great. Being a business owner is awesome. I love it. But at the end of the day, my family, my wife and my kids, they're the ones who got to deal with me on a forever basis. And when I go
Yeah,
home,
on
I
a
want to have a
forever
great relationship.
basis.
Yeah, I want to go home and have a great relationship with them more than anything else in the world. And so having good solid relationships is paramount to everything. And then, right before we started filming this, you asked me, about networks and all that sort of stuff. I'm
Mhm.
constantly trying to expand those networks too. And so right before this, I was actually looking at some other entrepreneur, business owner, networking and marketing, mastermind type groups here in our area too. So I'm always having good relationships is key, but always being alert and ready to take on new ones is really important as well.
Yeah, and so I agree with you. Actually, that's something. Relationships are something that you cannot fake. The way you told me, like, hey, I reached out to some of the people, that I knew that I know to help me out to see if they have been through the same situation that you were going through at that point. And it helps. It helps also because if you have very good relationship with the people that you work with and the people that you do businesses with, then you can go home, and have a good relationship with your family because it's what it's all about. Relationships, not even at home and at work, they have the same importance for me. Okay. Because it's your day to day, like you go to the office, you need to be good at the office. You go back home and you want to be, the happiest dad possible, right? And
Not
also the
still
best and
stressed
also
about
the
all
best
the
husband.
stuff. Yeah, and not still thinking, and that was the thing I struggled with for a while too, is that, I would get home, but I wasn't really home. I was still mentally at the office and still trying to do deals and analyze things and all that kind of stuff. So understanding how to have, it's tough, right? But like understanding how to have a good balance when you are a business owner of this is business time and this is personal
Mhm.
time, to me is something that was a challenge, is something I still kind of work on a day-to-day basis, but to me is of the utmost importance too.
All right. Very good. Very good. I'm very happy that you actually shared that with me. All right. Before we wrap up, Jake, if someone wanted to reach out to you, maybe collaborate or learn about what you're doing, what's the best way for them to reach out?
Yeah, our website is www.actionaccountingusa.com. That's www.actionaccountingusa.com. That's the best way. You go there. There's a book an appointment link right on the front page. There's also tabs with resources, with videos to our social media, all that kind of stuff on there. If you go to our website, there's a plethora of information. And then there's a book an appointment calendar link right on the front page that goes right to my calendar. I would encourage people to go there, check us out on social media a little bit. And if you're interested in having a conversation, we would love to go there and book an appointment.
All right. Perfect. Well, listen, Jake, I appreciate your time, your story, and also your perspective. All right. Now, we need more people in this space who are actually doing it the right way, the way you do it. Okay. The way you support your clients in your business. Thanks again for being here. And for those of you tuning in, if you got value from this, make sure you're subscribed. All right. We got more conversations coming up with operators just like Jake who are out there building real businesses. All right. We'll see you on the next episode. Bye.
Welcome to the Investor Fuel Real Estate Investing Show, where I interview the nation's top real estate entrepreneurs, industry leaders, and other amazing entrepreneurs to help educate and inspire you to take your business and your life to the next level. My goal is to add tremendous value to you during every single episode of this show. If you get value, I'd love it if you subscribe on your favorite podcast player, subscribe on YouTube, and my very favorite, please share this with your community so we can impact even more entrepreneurs. Let's start today's show.